Hey, it's me, your boyfriend slash girlfriend slash day-friend's favorite content creator. How you doing? Again, the camera's not new. You're delusional. Anyways, speaking of delusion, let's watch this Indiamon video. Watch a little bit of his videos. There's two videos I put in this because I think they highlight the big issue I've been seeing lately, just specifically with Assassin's Creed Shadows. People are just making shit up. They're just making shit up. So here we go. Clip number one. Let's run it.
Shadows is less than a month away, and things couldn't be looking more bleak for this game if Ubisoft tried. Because everything is pointing towards this game being one of the biggest releases of the year in terms of the culture and the ongoing conversation. And now Japanese players are roasting the game, and this big media blowout that Ubisoft did for this game has not stemmed any fears, but really only heightened them. Not to mention, Ubisoft is deliberately erasing Yasuke from advertisements from the game in various ways, which is making fans call them out. Also beyond this, I want to look into another problem that is also tied to Shadows. Beyond this, I want to look into another problem that is also tied to Shadows, which is how around 1/3 of Western game developers these days are woke morons. But first, Assassin's Creed Shadows is getting cooked all over. This game is going to be pulled apart like well-done ribs by everyone when it comes off the grill. And it's going to be for all the wrong reasons, because nothing about this game looks like it's going to meet anyone's expectations. Firstly, from that Park Place, Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay Twitch stream shows a buggy, bland game that put no fears to rest. Like I said, Ubisoft did this huge media push recently where they showed off new gameplay. They had live streams and various content creators sharing.
First up, I gotta say, do you not edit your scripts? I mean, I don't really write scripts, so I make mistakes. I'm just kind of going off the dome. But you ended a sentence and then repeated that same sentence. Like it's just like a chat, but whatever. Anyways, yeah. So there were creators, not you, who got access to playing this game. And some of them liked it, some of them didn't. That's how games work. But to go the extra step and be like, well, according to that Park Place, which if you have seen any of my videos, you know that Park Place is literally the most uncredible source you could use. Like, bar none. It is rife with incorrect information all the time. But using them as a source automatically lets me know this is bullshit. It's bullshit. In fact, to say that they're cutting Yasuke out of the promotional material is insane when he's in every promotional material they have. They can't scale him back. He's in the game. He's part of the game. He is one of two protagonists. They're not going to cut him out of the game, not cutting him from advertisements. But it sounds good to say that. It sounds good to say that Ubisoft's panicking because of the online backlash. So they took these last 5 months and they're going to, scale back Yasuke. Because that's the problem they had. It wasn't because when they first came out, it was looking a little bit, the animations were looking that great. And so they took extra time to polish and fix those things. Because this game's got to do numbers for a myriad of reasons. Mostly to do with Ubisoft's bad management. But no, not that. They want to focus on Yasuke. They have never mentioned Nowhere. I want you to know this. None of these right-wing grifter fucking slop YouTube channels like Indiamon or Smash HT or any of those people ever talk about Nowhere. Why? Because racism sells. Their whole target is to be racist. They want to hyper focus on Yasuke. That's all they do. And their impact, online at least, is seen plainly. Look at the Ubisoft Assassin's Creed page on YouTube. Just a story trailer. People are now complaining about Oda Nobunaga's armor not being as fancy as Yasuke. It's like, get the fuck out of here. No one cares about this. But again, they're in the comments making shit up, talking about like, the Chinese are even saying have some respect from Korea. The Koreans are even saying have some respect for Korea. Or have some respect for Japan. Like, what? There's only one Korean person who keeps consistently doing that. And it's a racist man on Twitter who uses an AI version of himself and says Christ is king and does nothing but spew anti-blackness. 100%. Talking about, oh man, I can't believe Ubisoft will release a game in 2025 where a black person's killing Japanese people. Let me move the context and just say this is, taking place in like the fucking Sengoku era. Let me take that context out. Let me just make it seem like black people love killing Asian people. Like, Yasuke is not a real person. They made up Yasuke because of George Floyd. Like, it's all of this is racism. It's just racism. And let's go to the second Indiamon video, because it's kind of the same video. He uploaded essentially the same video twice. One's called Erased, and then the other one's called like, I don't know, like destroyed or some shit like that. But it's the same adjective, and it's the same topic, but this one's a little bit longer. So here we go.
Where exactly that $20 million that Ubisoft has spent went into, and it's kind of wild. There's also more stuff to go over too. There's rumors that once Shadow comes out, Ubisoft is cleaning house big time. And historians have entered the fight, and they are not taking prisoners and much more. It's so bad, dude. Let's get into it. So like I said, I got some info. So my buddy Francesco Solbach, who works at that park place, should be releasing an article on this when this video is live. And he told me that one of his Ubisoft insiders has spoken to him, and yeah, they're not looking good, fellas. So in case you don't know, when Shadows got delayed, Ubisoft decided to spend an extra $20 million in development costs to fix the game after criticisms and concerns from the fan base as well as gaming news outlets. The big cost of this $20 million extra dev time, according to Francesco's Ubisoft contact, was that originally Yasuke was meant to be the main character, so to speak, of Shadows. Yeah, Naoe is playable, but she was never, according to this source, supposed to be considered the main character of the two. The idea was that Yasuke was going to be the forerunner and was Ubisoft's way of using him as a convenient scapegoat to give players a fish out of water experience into Japan during the Sengoku period, which is when this game takes place. Naoe, of course, is from Japan, knows how to speak the language, and has lived with their customs, so Yasuke was always meant to be the main character, so to speak, of this entry. But, following the backlash from everyone pretty much, Ubisoft panicked internally, and they realized if they released the game in its current state for its original November 2024 release date, the game would be both unpolished, full of bugs, and heavily feature Yasuke as the hero of the game. Well, that's not the case anymore apparently, so according to this source, this $20 million was used to reverse a lot of Yasuke's involvement in the game, and we're talking big time. Yeah, he's still in the game, yes he is playable and he still has quests and whatnot, but Ubisoft has allegedly gutted large portions of his content specifically to not make him the main character anymore, so to speak. Apparently, many of the story beats and side quests that were tied specifically to Yasuke have been changed internally with this extra 5 or so months of dev time. This coincides with what I was told last year, that Ubisoft was already scaling Yasuke.
Once again, his buddy from that park place, who has an insider source into Ubisoft, is telling them that, yeah, we changed the entire game in 5 months. No, don't get me wrong. Yasuke is still playable. He still has mission. That's what they do. They make shit up, and then to cover their ass, they're saying, no. He's still playable. He still has mission. He still has dialogue. He's still part of the story, but they scaled him back. Scaled him back in what way? Oh, the stories, the side missions that has stuff to do with Yasuke, they cut it. Well, you can't prove that, can you? You can't prove cut content. They don't even tell you what the cut content is. They can't prove anything. And I want you guys to remember something. This is the same creator, Indiamon, who said that the original story for Assassin's Creed Shadows was the plot to an Assassin's Creed game that had already came out. That is the same person now telling you he's being told by Ubisoft insiders via magic span read or whatever, or being told by his trusted source from the fucking park place that this is what's happened. The extra $20 million was used not to, again, polish the game, not to maybe, fix it from a technical level or anything like that, because people still got to get paid to do shit. No, the $20 million was just to make Yasuke less of a character, less of a main character. It is a dual protagonist game. That's not possible. That's like if Grand Theft Auto 5 was coming out and people were like, there's a black person in it, and then Rockstar is like, okay, we're gonna take these 5 months and remove Franklin. We're gonna cut him back, and then we're gonna just put, I don't know, Trevor in the situations meant for Franklin, because that'll work. Like, they betray a knowledge of their lack of knowledge of video games. That's not how game development works. You can't do that. Do you know how insane that would be to do? And for reference, I believe the Sonic movie was the original one when Ugly Sonic came out. People were like, ew, no. And so then they needed to delay the movie. And they delayed that movie from November of 2019 to February of 2020. Mind you, that was just to change the visual effects of one CG character. Of one character. Not the dialogue, just the visual effects, and they had to match eye lines. And it took them that long. Just for that. So imagine on top of that, they had to redo entire scenes, like interactions. They would also have to alter dialogue. They would also have to change the story so things flow narratively makes sense. Like, that, do you see how that wouldn't work? How that's not what was happening? Because then they would needed a larger delay. Much like how people thought when the Suicide Squad was going to delay, that they were going to get rid of the whole system they built the game upon. Like, no, they can tweak some stuff. They can like deactivate, okay, let's not make this as grindy. We can do that, but they can't be like, yeah, this is not going to be a looter shooter. You can't do this in that time frame. But again, they're just making shit up, and they can just make shit up because they have primed their audience, especially for this game, to accept anything that they say, because what they're saying is negative towards Ubisoft. And what they're doing is they're couching it in racism. They are being racist. Like, I cannot stress this enough. This is purely racism. They focus squarely on Yasuke. They have never mentioned Naoe. They don't even talk about the story of the game. We're talking to people who have hands-on of this, but they're referencing just, oh, Yasuke is cutting up a storefront in Japan. There's watermelon there. Oh, they probably put it because he was in it. Oh, how can they have watermelon and Sakura trees? Why is Obunaga have weaker armor than Yasuke? Do I understand the context? Of course I don't. But I don't need to understand context. My job is to rile you up. All of this is hatred. It's just hate. It's hatred of black people. It's hatred of queer people. It's hatred of trans people. It's just hatred of women. It's hatred. It's all hate. That's all they have. They cannot, in good faith, tell you the problems with this game because they don't know the problems with any games outside of it's woke. You heard Indiaman say himself, his issue is that modern Western studios are woke and dumb. What the fuck does that have to do with Assassin's Creed? It doesn't. It doesn't. You can't apply what's happening with Assassin's Creed Shadows across the board to Western developers. What are you talking about? Oh, it's woke. What does that mean? Doesn't have a meaning. Doesn't need a meaning. It's nebulous now. Woke just means, I don't know, there's a thing I don't like in it. And it's probably something to do with diversity. And I'm afraid of the world, so it's bad and woke. Like, this game has broken containment in terms of racism. It's been nonstop for over a year. Every single time Assassin's Creed Shadows mentioned, it is just racism. You will find it. And again, that piece of shit Indian mod. Yeah, if you're seeing this, I don't care if you see this, you're a piece of shit. Retweeting racist memes of having a George Floyd version of Yasuke. Because why? Because that is the only black person these people know of. They think black people are worshiping George Floyd. We just want you guys to leave this dead man alone. But you can't do it. You're full of hate because you're not creative. You're not interesting. You're not witty. You're not smart. You're none of those things. And you know that. So you have to do shit like this. You have to use the Park Place, who makes up shit just to have a sense of credibility. But no other reporter is doing this. No other gaming site was covering this. And contrary to what they want you to believe, they would be covering it because this would be huge news. It'd be massive news. they're not protecting Ubisoft, but there's nothing there. Remember when Tom Henderson broke that story? He had insider information and had a provable track record. So he put, oh shit, can't believe this is happening. Remember Indiamont didn't break that story? They're just saying shit. They're saying shit because it's getting closer and closer and closer to the release date of the game. That's it. That's it. And they can't talk shit about Avowed. They can't talk shit about the other games because they know nothing of it because no one's telling them these things. They're just looking for shit to be mad about. All of this is manufactured outrage through bigotry because these people are dog shit content creators. They are. They are dog shit and they fucking know it. That is why they hang around each other. That is why when one of them makes a video, 10,000 videos of the same topic come out. That's why you have losers who will be VTubing losers who will take a tweet, make a 2-minute video about it and post it. It's a slop machine. It's a slop, not slot, slop machine. It is a content mill. There is no passion. There's no effort. There's nothing there. It's just them being hateful. Making hating Ubisoft your entire identity is fucking crazy. And before I get accused of being a shill, I have made a video critical of Ubisoft, but I have actual critiques, which means there's ways to improve upon it that are actually reasonable, as opposed to just saying it's woke and gay and dumb and they smell bad and I hate them. Like, that is the level where we're at. God, I'm so fucking tired of these knuckle dragging troglodytes, man. They offer nothing for gaming. Nothing. I mean, the fact that he put out 2 videos on the same topic when you could have just made one video. Could have just made one and been done. But you can't because your bills need to be paid and you aren't creative enough to make an interesting video on your own. So you have to rely on outrage. That's all they do. If you're bored, go to any of those grifter channels and you know who they are. I have a whole playlist and see what other content they put out that isn't just culture war bullshit. I have other content I put out. I fucking stream. I talk about games and mechanics, all that shit. What do they do? What do they do?